Thank you. Any other redirect?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Ms. Emmer, thanks for being here. You can step down. Careful of that first step. Mr. Warren, state's next witness.
I'm going to retrieve the exhibits from the witness before we call the next one.
Sure.
The state's next witness will be Scott Henderson.
You're not publishing this?
Mayor, can we approach before the witness takes a stand?
Sure. On record. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some legal issues I need to discuss with the attorneys. It's going to be more than just what we can resolve here off the bench. So I'll just call it early lunch recess. We'll take a lunch recess. I'll work with the attorneys during lunch, and we'll come back and we'll resume the presentation of evidence. I'm going to have you come back at, this might be a lengthy discussion, at 1:15. Okay, so a long lunch today, 1:15. I'll work with the attorneys during lunch, and at 1:15 we'll come back in, we'll continue with the presentation of evidence. Okay, all of you have a good lunch. All rise. Our court appreciates the state taking time to adjust the visual aids, but we can return to Detective Enuma and the search warrant that is D53, as well as one of the results that states 107.
Yes.
And before we actually ask the detective to come in, Counsel, we haven't been able to resolve this without an actual 104 here.
I'm aware, so I did demonstrate to Mr. Otake where on the forensic examination software the artifact came from. I did show the search bar that showed that the word separate was contained 5 times in the underlying data for that artifact. But I do think we need, I think it's better for everybody to have Detective Enuma explain.
Okay. Then happy to hear from him if he's here.
I believe he's in the witness room. Do you want me to go out and get him?
I'll have Ms. Upper for sure. Go grab him.
Thank you. And if necessary during the testimony, do you want the state to plug in the laptop so the court can view what Detective Enuma was talking about?
It would be helpful for, yes, it would be helpful for me.
Okay.
Mr. Garner, maybe you want to go check for the location of Detective Enuma.
Okay, he did check in this morning, so I
Sure.
just a little bit. apologize. When I left him, Detective Enuma was in the witness room. It appears he's now in his car, but he's headed back.
Do you want to wait for him, or do you want to reconvene at 4:45?
I think I'll leave that up to everybody else who will be waiting. I'm okay either way.
Well, because we don't know where he is, right?
He said he was in his car, which I guess I assumed was the parking lot. I don't know that for sure.
Why don't we resume at 12:50? And if Detective Enuma gets here early, maybe he can demonstrate what he would show to the court to Mr. Otake. That way, there'll be no surprise as to what the testimony is going to be. In agreement?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Whatever, either way.
Okay. Anything else we should take up on record before resuming at 12:50?
Nothing for me at the moment.
No, thank you.
Okay. Court's in recess. Thank you, counsel. Resuming with case 22, State of Hawaii versus Gerhardt Konig. 1 CPC-25-37. Dr. Konig is present in court with all four counsel of record. Jury is absent from the courtroom, and Detective Thomas Enuma is on the stand. Detective, thanks for coming back so quickly. Can you stand and raise your right hand?
Yes.
You do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please have a seat. Mr. Barnett, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Detective.
Good morning.
Yes, for the record, can you please state your full name?
My name is Thomas Enuma.
Okay, Detective Enuma, were you assigned to complete search warrants on various digital items in case HPD report number 25-110958?
Yes.
Okay, and was one of those items a laptop listed as item number 48 under that same HPD report number?
Yes.
And when you executed the search warrant on the laptop, did you image the entire hard drive?
Yes.
And this was a physical solid state drive on the laptop, right?
Yes.
And in that search warrant, you were limited by a certain date range, right?
Correct.
Do you recall the date range off the top of your head?
Yes, it's December 1st, 2024 to March 24, 2025.
Okay. And beyond being limited by a date range, were you also limited by terms?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know all the terms off the top of your head?
Not all the terms.
Okay. When you're executing a search warrant on a hard drive like this, how do you limit your search to those terms?
Okay, so with the software we use called Axiom software. So within the Axiom software, when you first load it up, it pulls all the data within the hard drive, the solid state drive. And from there, you have to filter it. So from how you filter is you go under the filter column, you put in the date range. So the date range was from December 1st, 2024 to March 24, 2025, and you filter from there. So after that, it narrows it. It narrows the search within those date range. And from within that date range, I put in key terms that was listed on the search warrant.
Okay. And you put in all the terms that were listed on the search warrant, right?
Yes.
And then did you limit the results to only those terms?
Yes.
How does that work?
So all those different the search terms I was mentioning about, so there are multiple search terms, right? So you just filter it, and then from there, I'll examine my copy based on the search warrant within the content of the search warrant parameters.
Okay. And in terms of what you get as a result out of this, what is provided to the detective? The entire hard drive, or the hard drive that has been filtered to the date range and the term range? Yes,
the date range, the filter version, and we call it the Axiom portable case, and we filter it and we provided a copy to the detective.
Okay. Is that the same copy that's then provided to the state?
Yes.
Okay. So is the entire contents of the hard drive ever provided to the detective?
No.
Is the entire contents of the hard drive ever provided to the state?
No.
Who is the only person that remains in control of the entire contents of the hard drive?
It's myself and the HPD. our digital forensic lab.
Okay. But the entire contents of the hard drive do not leave the digital forensics lab. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. The software that you mentioned, the Axiom portable software, what is that?
So Axiom portable software is a copy that we provide to the detective, but then the main one is the Axiom software, which is the one we use to examine the data.
Okay. So you, in your examination of the entire hard drive, uses the Axiom software,
Yes.
but the limited portion that you provide to the detective, which is then provided to the state, is the Axiom portable software.
Yes.
Okay. In the portion that's again provided to the state, is there any digital artifacts that do not contain any one of those search terms?
No, it's the one, the filter, and then I made sure that all those keywords were entered.
Okay. There's a specific artifact that we're talking about today. We had it up on the screen there, Detective. I think my computer went to sleep. Can I approach?
Please.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to tilt the screen a little bit towards the court if I can.
That's good. I can see it. That's good.
You can see? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Detective Enuma, what are we looking at on the screen now?
So this is the interface for our Axiom portable case.
Okay, when you say portable case, this is not the entire hard drive, right?
Yes, this is the result from the search warrant return.
Okay. On the top of the screen, I'm going to point out in the top middle, we see the word recorder with an X next to it.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So it's already filtered using the software.
Okay, so the word recorder was not in the search warrant, right?
Correct.
Okay. Is the reason that the word recorder is highlighted on the right side of the screen because the user typed the search?
Just objection leading, you can just ask him why instead of leading.
This is the preliminary hearing under Rule 110 of the Hawaii Rules of Evidence. Rules of Evidence don't apply, and under 611 he can lead. Let's get to where we need to go.
Okay, so is the reason that the word recorder is highlighted on the right side of the screen because the word recorder is typed up using the search bar on the top right of the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Does using the search bar at the top right of the screen go into the data that was on the hard drive that was not included in the search warrant?
I'm sorry, can you ask that again?
So-
I can explain.
If you type a term in this, will it bring up data that was not included in the search warrant?
You're basing just on the portable version, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just going to stay within whatever I provided to the detective. It's not going to provide anything outside the search warrant.
And I see on the left side of the screen, under matching results, these color-coded rectangles.
Yes.
What do those mean?
So those are the the search term that I use part of the search warrant. So when there are keywords, I flag it as the terminology that was used in the search warrant.
Okay. And could you maybe hover the mouse over the orange bar that's in the email we're talking about here? What word popped up?
So separate.
Okay, was that one of the words in the search?
Yes.
Is the word separate the reason that this artifact was included in the Axiom portable case that's limited to the terms in the search warrant?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in the right side of this artifact, how does the word separate pull up this email?
So it's basically anything within the metadata. It could just be the web page, or it could be the document, or it could be the coding, the source code of either, in this particular case, this was an email, right? So it could be either from the email or the website itself. There was something that indicated that there was the word source in there.
And are you able to find how many times the word separate occurred in this artifact?
Yes.
Could you show us?
Okay. So from here. So this is basically The one part is the preview, right? So that's the email that was sent to the email address, right? So the bottom portion is basically where you have the source code. So under the find button, the search bar, I'm going to spell separate. And then there's 5 items found in the source code. So if I press down, also right here, there's already one that was already highlighted on the right-hand side, right over here. And then I can press down, and then there's going to be other places. I know the screen is a little bit small, so it's a little bit difficult to see. But, yep, so this is another word where it says separate. This is another word that says separate. And then this is the last word that says separate. So there's a total of 5 words separate within this email.
Okay. And are those 5 words the reason that this email was flagged when you were executing the search warrant?
Yes.
Okay. I think no further questions at this point. I may have more later, but for now, I think we've gotten an understanding.
Mr. Otake?
Thank you. Sorry, sir, are you a detective?
Yes, a detective.
Okay. Detective. First of all, I guess it's spelled the same, but separate and separate mean 2 different things, right? Can, right?
I guess so.
Okay. And so in the search warrant, in this case, which is marked as D54, I'll read to you what it says, okay? Electronic files and data stored within the specific electronic device and storage media, but specifically to seize only files and data that contain, include, reflect, or otherwise reference the following case-specific terms, and separate. So it says divorce, long list of words, and it says divorce, and then it has the word separate in the search warrant. You remember that word separate being in the
Yes.
search warrant? Okay. So help me understand this, and I apologize, I'm not the most tech-savvy guy, but just to be clear, and I'll show it to you if it might help. This is Exhibit 107, okay? May I approach?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so this is Exhibit 107, which is the email, the actual email from Walmart in question, yes?
Yes,
Okay, and that's what was, that was the email, correct?
correct.
So to be clear, and you can hand that back to me.
Okay.
Well, maybe it's better if you look. So the email itself did not have the word separate in it, correct?
That's correct.
And, okay. And the you mentioned this searching in this Axiom program, the word recorder, right?
Yes,
And recorder was not one of the search warrant terms, correct?
correct.
Okay. So why were you searching for a term that's not in the search warrant?
So the recorder is just to narrow it down, but then if you look at separate, it was already part of the search warrant return, right? So within those files, I would look at all of it. And then as far as the recorder term, that's what we use to help locate that piece of artifact data quickly.
Okay. But, I mean, did someone tell you to do that?
But we just go looking down.
No, but did
To each
somebody
other's
tell
time.
you to search for the word recorder?
So we examine basically all the datas, right, as much as we can, because this one over here has a total of 7,941 items, right? So we just go through it. I'll go through it, and then I'll just look and see. And then when I wanted to pull back for trial court
Yeah,
purpose,
but-
then I can just look for it easier.
And just for the sake of time, my only question is, did somebody tell you to search for the word recorder?
Search for no.
You just did that on your own?
So we worked with the lead investigator. So me and my lead investigator will sit down and we'll look over it, and we'll determine what's marked as evidence or not.
Right. But did the lead investigator, Detective Spacek, ask you to search for the word recorder?
So again, yeah, he would sit next to me and would just go down all the evidence that was
Okay,
filtered.
Detective, simple
Yes.
question. You typed in the word recorder in that search bar, yes?
Yes.
I'm asking you, did Detective Spacek ask you to do that?
No.
Okay, so who you just did that? Did somebody ask you to do that?
We did it because we're going to use this part of for the trial, right? So this was already one that was already. So for this one, the recorder, we're going to use that.
Somebody typed in recorder. Was that you?
For this one, for this purpose, no,
Who typed in recorder?
it wasn't me.
Yeah, who was it?
For this one particular, it wasn't me.
Yeah, so who?
No, you can't. Have a seat. Detective, you need to answer the question. Who told you, or who typed in the word recorder?
So for this one,
Detective,
yes.
who told you, or who typed in the word?
So okay, so for this one, we
I'm gonna
consult.
rephrase the question. Was it Mr. Garner?
He brought it up to my attention. Yes.
So yeah, fine. Continue on with the question.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, the computer locked again. We can unlock it.
So for the record, this is Mr. Garner speaking. The laptop is my laptop. The software that you're viewing on the software is the copy that was provided from the detectives to me. It's just being used to demonstrate in this hearing.
I understand.
Yeah, but I just need it open so we can.
I understand.
Can you just go unlock it so we can eat lunch?
Mr. Garner, please. Then I have follow-up questions as well.
Okay, so, the 107 is the exhibit, right?
Yes.
And when you talk about metadata,
Yes.
like, is that, explain that to us. What do you mean by that? Like, if this is the email exhibit, what do you mean by the metadata contains the words separate?
Okay, so for metadata is basically about a data, right? So this, for the context of this email, so it has the date it was sent, if it was received. It'll have any kind of information when it was accessed, and then it's going to also have the source code, all the raw data within the email.
When you say within that email, what do you mean?
So anything within that email that was sent, it's going to capture all those raw data.
1 second. So, okay, so the data is this metadata, right?
The one you're talking about on the
Yeah.
right side, yes.
Right. The email itself is not metadata, correct?
It contains metadata from the date, the time it was sent or received, right?
Right, but the email, the contents of the email, your package has arrived, Gerhardt, item 1, that's not metadata, correct?
So if there's pictures within the email, it would capture the metadata from that image as well.
Right, but the metadata with the word separate is not in this email, it's not in these pages, correct?
Not on that page,
Okay,
yes.
all right. Your Honor, I think you may have some questions.
I do. Detective, you talked about separate being in the source code. Source code of what?
So so if you look at the raw data, so it's the source code of it's like more like computer coding. So for the email, right, the raw data.
So separate is in the source code of the email or the email program?
That, I'm not sure, because I'm not a computer program, so I'm not familiar with this actual source code where everything is put together, and that's out of my
So
scope.
Axiom is looking for the word separate.
Yes.
How many artifacts did it pull with the word separate?
I can show you.
Please.
Okay. So 1,454. So yeah, so out of the 941 data that we recover, artifacts, 1,454 had the word separate.
And
And
so-
most of these are in emails?
Yeah, so they appear to be from emails.
It's not the email itself, email program.
And detective did, I'm not talking about Axiom Portable,
Okay.
I'm talking about Axiom. Did Axiom pull out all of the emails from the hard drive that you're working on?
Sorry, can you rephrase it one more time?
Sure. Did Axiom,
Okay.
not Axiom Portable,
Okay.
Axiom, pull out as part of the search warrant filtering all the emails that were on the original image of the drive?
So, okay, so first I filter it by the date range, then I filter it further with the word separate. So I didn't do a full, not filtered with the word separate.
Okay, so within that date range now, because you apply the date range first,
Yes, correct.
so once you got that narrowed down, and then you applied Axiom for separate, did it pull all the emails?
All the emails within the date range from December 1st, 2024 to March 24th, 2025.
Now, this is my question. All of the emails?
Within that time range, yes.
Every single email that was available?
Within the time range, it should be.
Okay, so this is my other question now. When I talk about all emails, that each and every single email that was on that hard drive.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Sure. Were there other emails, if you know, after you applied the date range, left over that was not pulled when you applied the separate filter?
Oh, I can probably try check right now and show you.
Please.
So this is the email and, so this is the breakdown, right? So it looks like it's all from this two email, which is the mbox and then the EML. And then these are all the other documents that has the word separate inside.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the emails.
Okay, let me close it out.
So, and this is what I'd like you to do, detective.
Yes,
'Cause right now, you're within that date range, right? And, I'm sorry, we're looking at Axiom Portable.
yes, this is the Axiom Portable.
Can I ask a question? Or, oh, go ahead. Can I?
You can ask. I
Do
said a
do you,
follow-up.
do you know, what, do you know from when you did the initial date range on the regular Axiom, how many emails was pulled that you then screened for the term separate or the search terms? Do you know what the total amount of emails
Oh,
in that date range would have been?
okay, actually, I can try take off the filter.
No, not in Axiom Portable.
Oh, okay.
In Axiom.
In Axiom?
Oh, that I'm not sure because I don't search the whole thing. I just, first I filter within the scope.
Do you know, so the word separate, there was over 1,000 responses, right?
Yes,
And it looks like those were almost all emails, right?
yes.
So the word separate was not specific to embedded in this email. It was in 1,000 or something. The email program,
Yeah, it could be other things that could have used the word source, separate, right?
right?
Which
and-
triggered
and-
the
And so
the
there's
filter.
an email program that may be embedded in the metadata has the word separate, right?
Possibly.
But then it's not specific to this email necessarily, then it's every email that might have been sent during that time period, right?
Possibly, yes.
And is there a way to find out how many emails Axiom pulled during that date range?
I can, it's going to take me a while. I mean, I cannot probably do it today,
Okay.
but I can work on it.
Okay.
And then,
Okay. Okay, this is helpful. Thank you, Detective.
Your Honor, can I do some follow-up now as well?
Yes, go ahead.
Right, Detective Enuma, are there any emails in this Axiom portable case that are not flagged by the word separate? Can you remove
No.
the separate tag?
Let me. So I'm going to clear the filters.
And then, are you able to open up all of the emails on the email and calendar on the left side of the screen?
Wait,
It's right over here.
but that's email and calendar, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I think the screen is a little bit. I'm trying to look for that bar where you can bring it down. Yeah, I'm gonna need a bigger screen. Yeah, it's right over here, but I'm trying to go.
So currently you're looking at email attachments, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can we look at just the emails in general?
Okay.
Okay, we're there now, right?
Yep. We're
Okay,
there right now.
so right now we're looking at emails in general on the Axiom portable, right?
Yes.
How many are there?
Right now on the email, there's 2,339. 300
239 artifacts.
artifacts under the email and calendar.
2339.
When we're not using the separate filter.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
only some of those emails have the word separate in them.
Yes.
Okay. So wouldn't that indicate that that's not a part of the program?
The objection, Your Honor, is leading number
Can
one
I
argument.
want to know.
So could be, yeah, it's not part of the program, but I won't know until I got to look at all the emails and stuff, or I got to contact the company.
Okay. But regardless, you do see, color-coded wise, on the screen right now, the orange emails, or the orange rectangle means it has the word separate. That's the flag, right?
Yes, the orange one has the word separate inside.
Okay, and there are, on this screen right now, 2 emails that have that flag, right?
Yes.
And every other email on the screen, every other of the 7 emails on the screen has flags of other colors, right?
Yes.
So that means those emails would have other words that were part of the search warrant, right?
Yes.
So can you demonstrate for us the pink one? So
So
that
the
email's tag is what?
Arial.
Okay, can you scroll into the blue one?
Syringe.
Okay, and can you go to the purple one?
WhatsApp.
Okay. And the email that we're looking at right now with the purple WhatsApp and the pink Arial, that one does not have the word separate in it, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Can I just ask a quick, so
Oh, you can ask it.
so this says email and calendar, right?
Yes, it's under email and calendar, correct.
Okay. And can you scroll this way on this thing right here, so we can see this
Okay.
whole thing here? Okay. And then you can go back. So detective, you don't know if the word separate was part of a specific email file or part of the email program.
That's correct.
And over 1,000 emails had the words, this came up when you searched the word separate, right?
Yes.
And you guys believe that the search warrant then allowed you to read these 1,000 emails?
Well, it's going based on the search warrant.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
I don't have any questions.
I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Gordon, anything else?
Earlier, when we were talking about the use of the word, what was it, recorder, that was
Yes.
typed into the search bar.
Yes.
Okay, you didn't type that in on my laptop, did you?
No.
Okay, because it's my laptop, right?
Yes.
Okay, and this is the copy that we've been looking at this morning, afternoon now, of the Axiom portable software that was provided through the detective to the state, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, just clearing that up. Nothing else.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you. Thank you, Detective.
Thanks for coming back.
Okay, thank you.
For explaining all of this to us.
And may I unplug my laptop from
Yes,
the
of course.
TV?
Hey, Mr. Otake, anything else you want to add?
Just that this is a clear violation of the spirit of the search warrant. And if this is allowed, then, you know, there'll be, all they'd have to do is find a word that is embedded in some email program, and then they could have access to every single email a defendant sent or received far beyond the search terms. And the fact that he cannot assure us that this was specific to this email is a threshold matter that should therefore preclude this from coming in. It violates the spirit of search warrant, and it's a violation of the search warrant, and it should be kept out.
Anything else you want to add, Mr. Warren?
As Detective Enuma testified, how he executed the search warrant in this case, it was in accordance with the requirements of the search warrant. He put in the terms, he limited any results to the terms listed in the search warrant. And whatever results came out, that's what you have to work with. So this violation of the spirit is, now we've walked it back. You know, we started out, oh, this is a clear violation of the search warrant. They've gone beyond the terms. And now we've gone to violating the spirit. But you know what? Detective Enuma followed the terms. He did this properly. And I want to point out that digital search warrants are treated differently than any other search warrant here. You execute a search warrant on a house. You have specific things you're searching for. You go in, you see anything, any evidence of a crime, anything you're committing, that officer is allowed to seize that evidence. It's different with digital, though. They are limited, no matter what, to what's on the terms of the search warrant. That's what happened. I think that what really we're looking at is the defense is upset that the state essentially found this incriminating evidence pursuant to a lawfully executed search warrant. They brought this up at the 11th hour as the witness is supposed to testify today. And I think, one, it's already been disguised as a motion to suppress, which is inappropriate. But two, the detective has testified exactly what he did. What he did was proper. This evidence is clear, showing the intent, showing the defendant's state of mind in the months leading up to this. This is something that was litigated at the motions and limine hearing when the state filed the notice of intent to introduce this evidence. This exhibit was turned over again March 6th. So this was properly done. This is a proper exhibit. It is properly, it shows defendant's state of mind leading up to this. Nothing inappropriate was done. Like, this is just the detective doing his job as he's required. That's it.
Anything else you want to add?
Just very briefly, you know, when I say it violates the spirit, it also violates the plain language. And, you know, this is, I don't know how many times the prosecutor makes comments about the defense is upset or the defense is trying to, you know, minimize the injuries. I mean, that's our job, you know what I mean, to look for these kind of violations. So I don't know what he expects, people to just come in and roll over and do whatever he wants and says and not even try to uphold the Constitution, but that's not how it works. So it violates the plain language and it violates the spirit, and to no end. I mean, all you'd have to do, like I said, is find a term that's in the computer software email program, and then you can access any and all emails. You know, I have no idea why the detective was unwilling to tell us that Mr. Gardner is the one that told him to search for a term that's not in the search warrant, but that's, is what it is, so. But that's our concern, Your Honor, it should be kept out, thank you.
Counselor, I appreciate the benefit of your thoughts as well as the presentation of Detective Enuma's testimony. And based on what we've learned this morning and this afternoon, what's of critical importance to the court is whether or not the program that we've been dealing with, indiscriminate cold alt emails from not just the image SSD, but also allowed all of the emails that were part of the Axiom portable software. It's clear that it is not. It is not an indiscriminate search. As demonstrated here in court, the removal of the separate filter does change the number of emails that are actually pulled out, and the court is satisfied it's not an all-encompassing indiscriminate search. And as such, the court finds no violation of the search warrant, and that the metadata and source code does include terms that were authorized for discovery pursuant to the search warrant. And as such, over defendant's objection, was been marked for identification as Exhibit 107 can come into evidence subject to the laying upon the foundation.
If I may, Your Honor, and I understand your ruling, the only thing that I was gonna mention is, and I know we're kind of doing this on the fly, but I'm not confident, you know, so why would 1,000 emails have that and 1,000 not, right? I mean, so I'm not confident, and maybe there's a difference in the emails where it is still part of the program where it's indiscriminate. So where it pulls all emails that were part of a certain program, and the other 1,000 ones were, you know, either calendar things or somehow different. And I think, I agree with you. I agree with you that that is a pivotal point. And I'm not confident in what we just heard that, I understand your rationale, I'm just not confident that the factual basis for your rationale is solid given the detective's testimony. You know, and I would like to explore that further over the weekend because it's a big deal, and I think we need a little more information and someone perhaps more knowledgeable about technology to be able to see the difference between, why is there 1,000 emails that have it and 1,000 that don't? I'd like to know, I'd like to explore why that is from a technological standpoint. And it may be that the program was, you know, the program did have that word separate, which means it pulled everything from that program, and then these other ones are different for some reason. So I think that's an important factor, because your point is a good one, is, you know, that would violate, the search warrant obviously is to limit, you know, privacy, you know, what they can look at and what they can't. And if it is a, and to seize only files and data that contain that term, right? So
Include, reflect, or otherwise reference.
right, to seize files and data that contain, include, reflect, or otherwise reference. So if it's the email program that has that word separate, that's not the file, right? The emails are the files. If the program is what has that word, anytime you open an email, a file, because that program has that word, it opens it. That's the problem, right? And, you know, I would be less concerned if it was like maybe 30 emails, 40 emails, but 1,000 emails, there's clearly something going on with the program, in my mind. Why would 1,000 emails have that word embedded in it, right? So, that's not again, I mean, he can say what he wants, but the spirit of the search warrant is to be able to look for these terms that not to mention, the whole spirit is terms that Dr. Konig may have actually searched or looked for, not something embedded in some computer program where every email you open, you know, therefore it's in there. So that violates the spirit. So I guess I'd ask that we put off Detective Enuma to at least give us time over the weekend to look into it, talk to our tech people, and we can maybe deal with this Monday, and we have time on Tuesday to call him. It's important that we get this right. We might as well get it right. I'm just asking for a little more time to do that.
What you're suggesting is attacking the search warrant, which would normally be a Rule 12 motion, right?
I'm attacking Exhibit 107. 107. So I'm just asking for time to look into that further, to make sure we're getting it right. I understand. Look, there's thousands of pages in discovery. This is something we recognize over the weekend. I'm raising it to this court's attention. It's not a basis to get it wrong because we raised it today. We have time to get it right, and I just think that with a little time we can explore that further and see why is it that 1,000 emails that have nothing to do at all with any of these search terms gets pulled by them. So that's all I'm asking. I mean, we have a DNA person today. It's probably going to take another hour or two, and that's going to take us pretty close to 3. We can finish the state's case Tuesday. I'm just asking for the courtesy of that time. Thank you.
How long would Detective Enuma's testimony be?
I'm estimating about 2 hours on direct. So similar to Ms. Cameron.
So before we even get to the laying foundation for 107, would there be testimony that Detective Enuma could provide?
Yes.
So let's do that. Before we even get to 107, at least we can have Detective Enuma start. And then if we need to revisit the matter, we can later on next week. But at least we don't lose the time this afternoon.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Okay. Anything else, Counsel? There being nothing. Court's in recess. -25-373. Dr. Konig is present in court with all 4 counsel of record. Jury is absent from the courtroom. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
You can all be seated.
Good
Mr.
afternoon.
Otake.
Just very briefly, Your Honor, and again, I appreciate the courtesy of allowing us the weekend to look into this, and we have our tech people looking into it as we speak. But I just to make clear that everyone understands what we're talking about and what our issue is. The question is the word separate part of the email itself, or is the word separate from the email processing program? I think is a key issue. And at least preliminarily, I know we don't rely on AI for legal sites, and we're going to back this up. But looking at AI, it says when the word separate appears in the metadata of many emails in your account, it is almost certainly generated by the email processing program, rather than by the content of the email itself. But that's what we're trying to shore up, and we will do that over the weekend. I think that I would suggest that Detective Enuma should be asked to do the same, because it's ethically, I think this could be a broader problem than just this case.
Agreed.
If the HPD computer, if this is how they're going about search warrants as a whole, this could be a broader problem. And rest assured, the defense community in Hawaii is going to know about this. But as for this issue, that's what we're looking at. And the last thing I'll say, and then we'll leave it alone because you're going to give us the weekend, is just the fact that 1,000 emails had and 1,000 emails don't, in and of itself doesn't. I understand the court's reasoning, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not the email processing. And so one thing that I learned over lunch is sometimes in coding, this word separate is used if the email is too big, and then you need to separate it into smaller parts. So it could be due to the size, it could be due to photos or whatever, that the email processing program has that word coded in it, not the email itself. So that's what we're trying to shore up, just to let the court know that. And I'm assuming, we need to get into it now, but I'm not assuming anything, but I would suggest that should matter to the court if it's something that's in the email itself, or if it's the email processing program, because then it would be basically grabbing all emails of a certain type, not specific. Not to mention, again, the spirit of the email, a spirit of the search warrant is that somehow Dr. Konig was searching for the word divorce, separate, things like that, and not if some metadata coding had the word separate in it. So, but just bringing everyone up to speed. That's what I see as the issue. We're shoring it up with our tech people over the weekend, and we'd have sort of opportunity to address this further, maybe on Monday or Tuesday or whenever. Thank you.
Thanks for the additional information, Mr. Otake. If there's any briefing that a party wants to submit, I'm always happy to read it, but I'm not requiring it.
I understand.
I'll leave that to all of you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else we should take up before the jury comes back in?
Not right now.
Okay.